Welcome into a special edition of the Commitment Issues podcast. Dave, we haven't had an episode in 4 months.
Probably 6 for me.
Well, we're back with a video component. You can see, boy, you look nice. Did you clean yourself up for this or what?
I'm a barber, man. I always keep myself fresh, man. I got my Supreme drip on. You know how it is.
Well,
you, on the other hand, look like you just got out of a hostage situation, man. Did you get any brains on you, or was it a peaceful situation?
No, it's peaceful. So for those of you who don't know, you can now watch the podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/rivals features, I think is what it's called. So whatever it is, just go on YouTube and search for Commitment Issues. Hopefully we can do some post-production. But anyway, we've been gone for a long time. We've actually probably recorded 3 episodes that never aired. Including last week when Rob couldn't figure out how to use his computer. 35 minutes down the drain. I was so mad.
It's pretty on brand for you guys, man.
Right, exactly. But anyway, we're back better than ever. So Dave, let's talk real quick. We want to talk about the Tiger King. That's why we brought you on, for your legal expertise. First and foremost. But let's talk a little bit recruiting. So what's been your experience? I got interviewed today by somebody who was like, how serious are the kids taking this? Are they going to change where they're going to school based on this because they want to be closer to home? And I'm like, none of them care.
Yeah. Kids don't care. They're still out trying to play 7-on-7 and get some training film. I had one kid ask me, what's your take on posting, sending coaches workout video where I'm running around the cones? I was like, do you have any film yet? Did you start varsity yet? He's like, nah. I was like, don't worry about it.
I think the same kid might have messaged me. We shouldn't say his name, but
I know who it is. Yeah. It's the Kentucky kid.
I don't know. I didn't open the message, but it definitely existed. So anyway, recruiting the kids, putting out more top 5s than ever, more commitments than ever, and it's just out of boredom, right?
Yeah, more edits. Who makes edits? I keep seeing, first 25 offers. That's what I keep seeing. And they got like William and Mary in there.
Kids are calling around to get to 25 just so they can make the edits.
Yeah, Hayes Fawcett's busy these days, man. And no sleep for him.
Carol's got him working for him too. Have you seen that?
Is he running his social media account?
He's making some edits for him, that's for sure.
Who makes edits?
Yeah. Not me. I wish I made edits. They charge for that. $8, $10 a pop.
Venmo is popping.
Cash App, probably mostly.
Is that what's cool with the kids now? Venmo ain't cool now?
Well, I went out to Oregon I think it was last March. It was a year ago. And I asked people if I could Venmo them money. And they looked at me. They were like, what? Venmo? What is that? I'm like,
that's Oregon, man. You're lucky if they got the internet out there.
Carry around cash. All right, so I got some funny stories to tell, but I can tell them at the end. Basically, it's hard for us to speculate on recruiting because we don't know what's going to happen. So we're going to try to do some shows where we talk about some fun stuff, have a good time. If you guys listen, great. If not, that's cool too. So tell some friends. If you want us to watch a movie, watch a show, we are going to watch on the 31st. Is that tomorrow? What day is today, Dave?
It's the 29th.
So in a couple of days, we're going to watch. What was the name of that documentary? Game?
It's the Dawkins one, the basketball scandal. I forget what it's called.
I wanted to say Game Change, but I'm pretty sure.
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure Game Change was that like Hillary Clinton one.
Yeah, Now, I forget what it is, but it's basically about what's his name, Christian Dawkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about Christian Dawkins and how he helped launch that whole FBI investigation against the Adidas schools. So that's going to be dope. I'm looking forward to that. It comes out on the 31st. I've been watching everything. I watched Ozark, like the 3rd season of Ozark yesterday. The whole thing straight through. It was good.
The Scheme is what it's called. So if you want to watch The Scheme, I'm going to try to get Eric Bossy to come on. We can reel him. So maybe do like a little crossover episode. So we'll see what he has to say. Boy, a lot of chest hair so far in this episode. It's
you got a hair sweater underneath of that T-shirt, boss.
it's a hairy situation. Well, I'm half Italian. That's all I got was the body hair and the fatness. Those are the only two things.
And the quick temper.
Yeah, the attitude. Yeah. So the scheme. So we're definitely watching that. We're probably going to run an episode of it later in the week. So as far as recruiting, we'll talk about if something big happens, but it's hard for us to speculate on when people might be back or when if there's going to be a season. We don't.
Right.
I
mean, the Big 12 just pushed everything back to May 31st. So no organized or voluntary team activities for any sport at all until May 31st. Now, does that really impact college football season? I mean, I don't know. I feel like if we hit the ground running around, mid-June, we could still have a season, right?
Right. Yeah. So we'll know more then, and we'll talk about recruiting. And if anything cool comes up, we'll talk about it. But other than that, if you want us to talk about something, let us know, tweet at us, and leave a message in the comments, whatever, make fun of us, how we look. Because I'm sure people find out for the first time now that you're actually white. That's going to be a big revelation.
I feel like the cat's been out of the bag for a long time now, but
All right, so people want to know. So let's talk about the Tiger King. I'm sure this is right. What did Rob call? Actually, Rob was supposed to be on. What did he call it? He said he barely paid attention to that dumb show. Is that what he said?
Yeah. I mean, Rob's too cool to pay attention to anything like that.
He's too busy watching All American. Yeah, that's a high quality show. And that what was it? My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend on the CW. He really liked that show.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, he loved that. My Crazy Ex or whatever.
Yeah, it's a musical TV drama on the CW. Anyway, so what was I want to get into the legal aspect. What's interesting about it is it started with like, okay, this guy was like, I'm gonna follow this crazy exotic animal trade and the breeding and all that stuff. And then of course, once he met, Joe Exotic, it went off the rails and he dove into that full on. And then it gets into the legal saga and the whole Carol thing. What was your overall takeaway? Because I had to talk you into watching it.
Well, I was watching a bunch of other stuff I was catching up on. So, I mean, I'm not doing anything, but no, once I started watching, my legal take on it, which part? Are you talking about how they how the feds put the extra charges in there?
Well, I mean,
you're talking about the murder for hire.
I feel like any decent defense lawyer should have been able to to put a reasonable doubt on the murder for hire thing when all the people who were, I mean, the guy who was the hitman literally says how much he hated Joe and they were always at each other's throats and blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, oh yeah. And then he trusted me to go kill her and he paid. Come on.
Well, I mean, here's what did he get? A couple $1,000? Was it $5,000?
Yeah, 3. He said he got
$3,000. That's gas money to get from Oklahoma to Florida alone. So, what are we talking about here? Was he getting paid per diem on the way down there as well? So, and that's what they said during the documentary. So, I definitely would have harped on the fact that this is highly unlikely. But what hurts is if everyone took the stand against him, and the guy who was supposed to be the hitman, did he take the stand? I don't remember that.
I think he did, yeah.
I mean, when people are taking a stand and they're putting themselves on the line and they're admitting culpability to criminal acts, it's hard to spin that, man. I mean, the jury's going to buy it. The jury's going to think, why is this guy up here? You're always going to do what Aaron Rodgers' lawyer or Aaron Hernandez's lawyer did in that documentary, which is when you got the guy up there testifying, you say, you took this deal to testify to avoid being in that seat. And if he was up here, then, you'd be under fire. And
right.
That's what you do to try to break their credibility down. But at the end of the day, the dude's sitting up there under oath in front of that jury telling them, yes, I was paid to do this. I did this. So it's hard to defeat that. It's hard to overcome it, man.
So it doesn't matter if he's a felon or whatever. I mean, you couldn't have assassinated his character to make him.
You do. I mean, you absolutely assassinate the person's character, right? You say the only reason you're testifying right now is so that you aren't sitting in that chair being called defendant, and then you'd be facing time in federal prison. So this is your way to get off. You're lying. You can't actually come out and say you're lying, but you have to suggest to the jury that, yeah, this person's not credible. He's a drug addict. He's a convicted felon. You do all that. and you hope that you can chip away at it, and put reasonable doubt in the mind of the jury. But at the same time, like I said, the guy's under oath, so there's a presumption that this person is telling the truth.
The other thing I found interesting was, you know, obviously he'd been making videos for 10 years talking about how he was going to kill her and blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
I mean, that's another thing, you know. He's sitting there, he's like shooting her in the head in effigy, literally.
Well, right, but like, you know, because she's a public figure and he's a public figure, you can kind of, couldn't you have spun it that was satire and he was playing a character?
I mean, when you're talking about public figures and satire, you're going more into First Amendment law right there. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to establish a motive and an intent, right? I think the weakest part of the whole thing, though, is the fact that the assassin was a dollar store assassin. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
He's the private select version of a hitman. $3,000. Come on, what are we talking about? Plus, Joe is broke. But then there was also the thing where they mapped it out, right? So they mapped out where we're going to shoot her on her bicycle trail. We're gonna, you know, well, this is some grassy knoll stuff here.
Well, right, but the dude I can't remember his name now. The guy who stole the zoo from him, he never testified, and he was the one that was planning out the Google Maps and stuff like that.
You're talking about James was his name, right?
Yeah.
But the actual hitman testified. But after the thing, he said on the video, I was never in Florida.
Right.
He said that on the video. He said, I never went down there. So I don't think he testified.
So do you think they would have, like, because of, I'm sure some of the stuff that was said in the video, you know, in the doc contradicts what was said in court. I mean, is that going to help our boy Joe with an appeal or what?
On an appeal, for sure. I mean, you're going to get perjury charges at this point. So whoever goes on, and we're not dealing with sophisticated individuals here, you know. These aren't Omerta Mafia members right now. You know, these are people sucking down meth like pixie sticks. And so when they're on the video telling the cameraman, I never went down there. And if he was on record on the, you know, under oath saying, oh yeah, I went down there to do it, but I just never did it, then what are we talking about
right
here?
Yeah that would be.
But for attempted murder, all you need is I don't know if it was attempted murder or murder for hire. I don't know the actual charge, but conspiracy is conspiracy. So if you make significant steps forward in a conspiracy, it doesn't matter how successful you were in the conspiracy. All that matters is 2 or more people conspired to do a crime.
Right.
So if they all sat down, mapped out how they were going to kill this woman, and there was enough significant steps to amount to a strategy, a plot, plan, and there was action taken to carry that plan out, you can get conspiracy. I don't remember what the exact counts were because I think I wasn't looking at the indictment. I didn't see the indictment, but I mean, even if they didn't get them on that, the brilliant move by the U.S. attorney was to add those animal trafficking charges in there because, you know, that's kind of the stuff they got Mike Vick with, where you're transporting these animals illegally across state lines. So that's where you get into the federal charges once you're going across state lines like that with those animals. And he did sell them. He said he sold them on the video. You could hear him. There was clear evidence of that. And, you know, they found the skulls in his yard where he shot and killed them. So, I mean, there was a lot of stuff there to convict him for the other counts. And in the feds, all you need is 1 count, you know, because the guidelines usually run the same way for those type of charges, you know, because there's an offense level down on the left side and there's a criminal history up on the top. And that's the way that the guidelines run. So depending on how severe the crime was and, you know, your criminal history depends on how much time you're going to get for the federal guidelines. It's not like state court where you can go in there and bargain with the prosecutor and then the prosecutor says to the judge, you know, we've agreed on X amount of time. With the feds, probation and parole is going to look at what the plea was. Then they're going to look at the offense level of that. Then there's going to be other things that could possibly cause it to go up based on, you know, the way it was committed. Like if you're doing a conspiracy and it's sophisticated, then you could get 2 points added to that. That's more time. I think that it could have been a sophisticated scheme with the things they were doing. I mean, anytime you're transporting these lions and tigers and ligers across state lines, you know, that's not some simple thing. Like you have to do certain things to get that done. So I think that was, I don't know. I guess they probably didn't have a conspiracy charge for him, however, on those because I didn't see anybody else take the hit, right?
Well, they said like a lot more people are still going to go down. And I saw that they raided that guy's place in South Carolina, but
Mhm.
he sounded like he covered his tracks. And then they said that he was cremating them there on site, is what they think. But guess what? There's no evidence that he's doing that. Then
Yeah, that's a smooth move right there. That's Ozark status right there.
no, no skulls to be found.
Nothing, man. Just dust in the wind, baby.
Well, so yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't think people should be able to keep these tigers and stuff. Obviously, they should be in the zoo and the whole tiger cub.
Or out in the wild.
Well, right, but I mean, like, I get it that some animals are going to be in captivity, but I mean, we don't need people playing. We don't need thoughts taking pictures in hotel rooms in Las Vegas with baby tiger cubs.
Hey, man. Hey, you listen. You're an influencer now. You better watch yourself. You don't want to be on the outside looking in.
I'm gonna be in here. You see my dog? You see my dog over my shoulder? That picture?
Yeah, I see him.
That's Grizz who died, and somebody gave me that as a gift. He's memorialized as like a general. I should get some
Andrew Luck.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know, man. There was a lot of parallels. So I'm
To what?
well,
Oregon?
I'm about to tell you. I'm about to tell you. So, like obviously I'm half, white trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's actually reminded me of a lot of like my Uncle John, especially, who I've talked about before. The way they manhandle the animals. Like I've seen like my uncles like giant mean like pigs and rams and stuff like that. I watched my Uncle Tony just grab them by the horn and just like slam them down. And when they were like taking those tigers and stuff, it reminded me so much of it. And so did a lot of the tricks. Putting like one time, my mom got sued, right?
No
And they
way.
were like, "Who's suing her?" It was like, "Oh, your uncle's ex-wife." And I was like, "Why?" And they were like, "Well, because he put the property, he took like his properties and had my mom sign the papers and put them in her name, so he could be away from them." And then she got sued, kind of like Joe Exotic's parents, So the tactics, the hustling, the weird hiring the people who had no jobs and paying them like $100 a week and letting them live out there. That's straight out of the Rivera family handbook. I mean,
that's straight out of the military handbook. You got your chow. You got your spoiled meat from Walmart.
No, that's the other thing. So
you got your barracks. You don't need nothing but $100 a week to buy your booze or your meth with.
So like the little bakery stores that are like, they have a lot of them in Florida, like I'm trying to, like the bread store. It's just a store that sells bread only.
Yeah, a lot of those in South Philly.
Right, exactly. So me and my Uncle Tony would go twice a week, and all the expired bread, we'd fill the truck up, and he'd use it to feed the donkeys and stuff like that. But of course, we'd be telling, "Oh, this is still good. Well, they got cupcakes in here. Let me tell you."
That's different, though, man. We're talking about expired pork.
Well, right, but
let's chop this up and throw it on the pizza.
They were basically like freegans.
Yeah, they are freegans. They're dumpster divers, bro.
So
dumpster diving for a T-bone steak.
So let me
like
tell
high
you,
end.
One time when I was young and broke, I took a job at 7-Eleven working the night shift, right?
Yeah, that's rock bottom right there.
Right. So I'd work one job during the day, then I'd go to 7-Eleven and work 10 to 6, right?
Woo.
Yeah, it was brutal. And this was like in Sanford, Florida, definitely not the best day. There was a few times where I was in there where I had my finger on the button, the little call button.
They didn't give you a shotgun with your uniform down there?
No, they didn't.
In old Sanford?
But Bow Key, as they call it. But anyway, I used to take, it was the same thing. The stuff that was expired and the donuts and stuff that people didn't buy, you're supposed to throw them away. But what I would do is I would take one trash can or one big trash bag. I'd dump all the trash in it. Then I'd take a new trash bag, open it up and put it inside, almost like a little bladder. And the food I wanted to keep, I'd put inside the clean trash bag, inside the other trash bag. I'd take them out, tie it up. I'd pull mine out, throw the one in the dumpster, and then set the other one off to the side so I could go get it later to get the steal the food.
So this show really resonated with you. Took you back to your humble roots in Sanford, Florida.
That's right, man.
UCF student.
Right. I couldn't believe how many things, like, there were so many things that I was like, that's exactly like something my uncle would do. I've done that. I'd be stealing that. I'd be taking that expired meat, the bacon, and eat. Because it's still good, Dave, after the I'm sure you
No,
it's sell by. It's not eat by.
No, yeah, sell by. All right. Look, man, you go ahead, man. They were taking like big bags of it, man. Like it's past the sell by, and then it's sitting in their house for another 2 weeks. And half the time they're high on meth. I don't know what you know about meth, but you don't eat when you're on meth.
Hey, when you got a lot of animals to feed, you'll take.
I understand that they're giving it to the animals. The animals are eating it that day. That's fine. The sell by is cool, but they're taking it home and I don't even know if they have fridge. They might have just like dropped it in a salt pillar.
You know who one of the saddest characters was?
The girl that got her arm bitten off and went back to work the next day?
Well, that was
And it was living in a trash heap?
Yeah, that was.
She's A1A or 1A, 1B.
I was going to say the dude who was like the manager of the zoo or whatever, the groundskeeper, whatever his name was, that went and testified that he had seen him shoot the things, right? The guy with the long
he shot the tigers.
So you could tell he was really struggling to have to testify, and he was bummed about not being at the zoo. But then when they go back to him, like they interviewed him the day he testified, and then you see they go back to him later, and he's all messed up, man.
Yeah, if you think that guy's the saddest, so you think that guy's sadder than the dude that accidentally blew his brains out? Look, there's so many. Like, I'm watching this show, right? I'm watching this show. Whoever put it together, I guess they did it the way they did it, but it was, how do you even, the hierarchy of madness was just, the next episode, I'm like, it can't get any worse. And then I'm like on episode 6, the show's about to end, and the campaign manager is like, oh yeah, by the way, my man blew his brains out right in front of me.
And he's like,
yeah, he's just sitting there. I thought the tape froze for a minute. I've never seen anyone that still. He's just sitting there like, man. And then it's like you don't even find out that Carol fed her husband to the tigers, perhaps, until like the 3rd episode.
So I would listen to a whole 10-episode podcast about that, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely! Just that in and of itself. It's so there's so many layers to it. I mean, I listened to a couple episode podcasts of the threesome marriage that he had, the gay Mormon thing he had going on there.
Oh, with the 2 dudes, neither one of them.
Yeah, the 2 dudes, and they were straight.
Yeah,
they were straight.
Yeah.
Man, then you got you. It's just the layers of that thing are crazy. It was like watching it was like a Rick and Morty episode, but like extended out through however many episodes were in that season. It was just, there were so many layers to it. Like I want to go back and watch it again, honestly, because now you got me worried that I just said a bunch of inaccurate legal stuff because I really didn't know the facts, because I wasn't even paying attention to the legal. To me, the legal part was boring. That was the most boring part. I wasn't watching this show with my legal hat on. You know what I mean? I was watching with my what the.
As they were going through it, I was like, it's pretty clear that, I mean, based on them not having any new video of Joe, that he's not getting off. But I just based on the witnesses they had, I was like, really? No, the other thing, I mean, this is the most important thing that the Fish and Game people have to do, is like to bust this dude. You know what I mean? Like, say what you want about him and the illegal trades. He was right. When you look at his zoo and you compare it to the Big Cat Rescue, his zoo was in way better shape. Like, I mean,
was it? I feel like it wasn't.
No, Big Cat Rescue, dude.
It was 40 acres. It was 40 acres.
Right, but have you ever so people go there all the time. I see it because people from Florida that I'm friends with on social media. I mean, it's not super well maintained, like she's doing the same. I think that was obviously the point.
She's obviously doing the same exact thing he's doing, right? It's just she puts a different like liberal consciousness to it to make it seem like, oh well, these cats would be killed over here, which they might have been. I mean, the good point, the best point she made was once they're cubs, they're viable economic assets, right? But once they get too big, they become nothing but a liability. And I think that it was like a 2-month window where they're cubs before they're a liability, where they're going to go gnaw a kid's arm off. You know what I mean? So I get why they're out there getting shot in the head and buried at Joe's, or getting thrown in the incinerator over there down in the other place. Where was the other place again?
Doc something.
Yeah, docks, right? Because they're just, you got to keep feeding it. It's not making you any money anymore. It's just it's just too big, and you can't really do nothing with it. And if you got, they're redundant, right? I mean, if you got 9 or you got 25, really all you need is a few big ones to show off, to do a little couple tricks with. But the real money is, I think, is petting the cubs.
Right.
That's what you're talking about, cub petting.
What they need to do is just link up with these poachers that are killing them in the wild and be like, look, I'll ship you the tiger.
Oh, really? Like to a resort island somewhere and then stalk the tiger throughout the island?
Well, I'm just saying, you don't got to, yeah, exactly. You don't got to chase around. You don't got to go out in the jungle to chase them. Imagine that. Imagine if you had a private island where people could go hunt tigers and stuff, man.
Man, you're going to have Peter shutting the podcast down, man. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying. You got people killing wild tigers. You got people with tigers in captivity that they don't want. Cut out the middleman.
I think it raises certain ethical questions that one must contend with here.
So
not everyone is as morally ambiguous as you.
So you just reminded me that my Uncle Fred, he was married to this lady named Nancy, right? And when I was a kid, my mom would never let me go over there.
How many uncles were you barred from seeing?
So each of my parents had 5 siblings. So I had plenty of options. But my Uncle Fred, who my dad called Uncle Whitey Dog, that tells you all you need to know about him. That was his nickname. He had like blonde, like white hair. Anyway, the reason I could never go over there, because they had a wild bobcat that they kept in their house. Now, they
another connection.
They showed some of them briefly what they look like, but dude, they're huge. You know what I mean? And they're like vicious. Right. And my mom was like, "Nah, you can't go over to Uncle Fred's house and play with that stupid." But I was a kid. I thought it was cool. I wanted to go see it all the time. But anyway, I don't know what happened to it. They probably shot it in the head.
They probably shot it and buried it.
If I had to guess. But I remember my Aunt Nancy chewed tobacco, a woman. He always had a big old
dick. Right.
That's the kind of person that's going to have a pet bobcat.
Dude named White Dog, whose wife chews tobacco. Out in woods of Oregon.
They have a pet bobcat. And my cousin Carl, that was my cousin's name.
Where are bobcats indigenous out there in Oregon?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're everywhere, man. Scary.
Okay. All right.
The ones in Florida are actually bigger. Like I remember seeing one in Florida, like people, when I worked at the newspaper, people, had those like yard cameras and they send them in. And I remember somebody sent us this one. And I mean, that thing was massive. Like they get way bigger down there in Florida where they can really run around and eat a lot. They got all kinds of stuff to eat. Yeah. But anyway, I just can't believe that this is the priority of the federal government, is to like pin down our boy Joe. But
I mean, it's, people always say that when it comes to, it's like they think the feds are out there doing like miraculous work. Like there's plenty of federal prosecutors, there's plenty of marshals, there's plenty of FBI, DEA. It's a huge bureaucracy is what it is. And there's tons of people in different departments doing different things. So when people are like, I can't believe the federal government is bothering with the steroids, or I can't believe the federal government is dealing with the NCAA paying kids. It's like, there's a law on the books and they enforce all the laws. So it doesn't blow my mind. It's not baffling to me that somebody that makes 6 figures a year is doing their job. You know what I mean?
Well, right. I just thought like the fact that
look at it's not even, a lot of times it's not even the crime that's actually the thing that's so bad, but the lifestyle that surrounds that type of crime, right? So
Right.
look at, like you said, they got these cults. They're all cult leaders out there running their own little cults. You got Joe Exotic. He's running the Lion Tiger Meth Club, where he's seducing young straight males to come be his, to live on his compound. And it was a compound. Now he even said, I'll turn this into Waco, Texas. So you got a methed out mulleted David Koresh out here slinging tigers and getting young boys to come join him on his farm, right? So that's one of the reasons why the feds look into that, because it's not just the tigers, it's the lifestyle that goes along with that. And the same thing with my man Doc. That girl was basically telling you that when that girl that had left there was what she was explaining, it sounded kind of like sex trafficking almost to me. It's just he just wasn't selling them, but it was definitely like a Branch Davidian type thing where he's the male and he has multiple wives. They have a house, but he was saying, like, when they first start out, they were sleeping in horse stables with cockroaches all over them. And they had to work their way up to get out of that situation, right? Yeah. And these are young, impressionable girls. All of them were pretty, where he's telling them to go get fake breast implants and alter your body. And one day we'll take you out of the stables and the cockroaches, put you up somewhere better. But until then, that's it. And they're working tons of hours a day. They're working like 18-hour days.
Right.
So I mean, it's kind of like white slavery type stuff. So that's why the feds, if the feds took down Al Capone on tax evasion, you understand what I'm saying? They didn't get him for all the other stuff he did, but they got him. So that's how the feds operate. There's a method to the madness.
So I know there's like lobbying and whatnot that goes on. I just can't believe how hard is it to pass a bill to be like, yo, you can't have a tiger.
Hey, the problem with that is if you word the bill incorrectly, if you word the statute incorrectly, then you could criminalize zoos. You could criminalize legitimate businesses that make a lot of legitimate money, employ a lot of people, and also give a lot of campaign contributions. So you got to be real careful how you word these statutes. So if you align your business up to look like a legitimate zoo, you're mimicking that zoo's behavior enough to where if they pass a law worded the wrong way, they're screwing up the legitimate businesses too. So, I mean.
So there's some weird place. The last time I went up to see you and I drove down, I drove down through like Bowling Green down to Nashville, and there's definitely a place off the highway there that's like some weird place like this.
Well, we got to go check it out.
I know. Like, I actually drove by it. I'm going to try to Google it right now.
You're Googling it now? Are you,
Kentucky.
Are you thinking out loud, Trump?
Well, no. I mean, I thought you
had the name of that before we started doing this.
I thought you might know what it was.
Man, I don't go to Tennessee, man. What do I look like?
It's in Kentucky, dude.
I live in
Kentucky,
Louisville, bro.
Down Under Adventure Zoo.
Sorry, man. Never made it out there.
Hold on, I'm gonna Google it. That's right. They got kangaroos. Main Street Down Under. I only got caves too. That's right. Because I don't know if you know how much I love caves.
Are you a spelunker?
Oh man, I love caves. Kentucky Down Under. Hold on. You know what? I think I can. Let's do a little production here. Hold on. Ready? I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna see if this works, Dave.
All right, go for it.
Let's see.
Your face is so intense right now.
I know. That's the problem. Hold on.
Fraught with fear.
Yeah. It didn't. Come on. I don't want to open system preferences. It says share screen. So.
Technical difficulties. Stand by.
Allow Zoom. I need to go to security and privacy to grant access. Come on, man.
All right, but this is not riveting radio right now. So, or whatever this is, riveting YouTube. But yeah, look, it don't matter. I'm not driving anywhere in Kentucky to do anything other than if I'm getting paid, I'll drive out of Louisville, right? So I'll go to Grayson County if I got to go see a person in the feds, or I'll drive to the Eastern District of Kentucky for a federal case. But I'm not leaving Louisville for I might go to the Simpsonville outlets or something.
So okay. So I can't figure out this shit. I gotta close the app to change the security settings.
Don't do it, man.
It says come and pet a kangaroo. They got wolves. Um, let's see. They got all kinds of stuff. So we gotta do this, Dave.
I'm good, man. All right, man.
You don't want to pet a kangaroo?
I don't want to. Then they could kick you in your mouth.
Okay, let me tell you something. Here, okay, now I got something to complain about.
Uh-oh.
Petting zoo. Guess what they got? Guess what does every petting zoo have that they have you pet?
A goat. A llama.
Yeah, like nobody. Who cares about a stupid goat? Ooh,
hey, you're preaching to the choir. I don't want to touch any damn animals, man. I don't want to get anthrax.
Well, we're going down now that we have a video show. You and I are going to Kentucky Down Under. We're filming the whole.
Are you gonna throw some chaps on?
Yeah, I'll go down there. I'll bring some boxing gloves and I'll put out one of them. We'll bring your son and he could see how he could really box against a kangaroo.
Bring your daughter. What are you talking about?
You've got the one with the boxing videos.
Yeah, he boxes like humans though.
All right, so. Also, real quick, our girl Carol. I mean, we think she's heavily medicated because I mean, to sit there and be like, yeah, he wanted to kill me, he wanted to rip my head off.
She seemed like super calculating to me. Really, is what it is. She seemed to have a flat affect, like a serial killer, or a surgeon, or an airplane, or airline, or fighter pilot. There we go. That's the word I was trying to get out.
So she's been running scams though. If you look, they had that old VHS tape about how to get rich that she did.
Oh yeah, she's always been a scammer, but she's smooth with it.
Right. Then she had the one about how to take the little VHS tape, how to take care of the baby cubs. It's like, well, how would you know? I thought you weren't breeding any animals. So
she changed, man. She's reformed. You understand? She keeps on changing while y'all stay the same. She snitched on herself, though. Remember, my favorite part of the whole show, which to me was laugh out loud funny, is when they said when that tiger grabbed Joe by the foot and he just starts beating it with his walking stick and drop him off. And so she starts talking, right? And she's like, you don't put cologne on a shoe, you put sardine oil on it. Like, oh, you're the expert on how to get a tiger to eat somebody, huh? You know what condiments the tiger's like?
That was pretty funny. That was like, real slick. Yeah.
Hey, I was like, you dry snitching on yourself right now. You don't even know it.
What I did find it weird that he all of a sudden had that injury. Like they never
explained what happened to his knee, right?
Yeah. Because he went from being normal to having his knee messed up and having a cane. You have to assume he got attacked at some point.
I want to go back. When you bring up the legal aspect of it, I want to go back and build a case. Here's what we should do. I should go back and build a case against Carol for the murder of her husband, right? Although there's no body, so it's going to be tough. Build a case against Joe for the arson, because he definitely burnt down and killed all those alligators and burnt all that equipment from that reality TV show my man was doing. What was his name?
The dude who was on he was on Inside Edition. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was big back in the day. That was no joke.
No, I also, I mean, he made a few wrong turns in his life to to where he was.
Oh, for sure. He had the black hat on, you know. He looked like you watch Westworld?
No. Westworld sucks. More like Worst World. That's what I always call it. I try to watch it.
I like it, man. You know, it's something that you got to pay attention to. You can't be on your phone making edits.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. That's why.
It does make sense. It totally makes sense.
Everybody turned on it. I think was it at the first season finale that everyone turned on it?
I don't know. I didn't even know about it until like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I started watching it, and I was like, this ain't bad for what it is. You know, it's basically. We create AI, then the AI becomes sentient, then the AI questions what is life, am I life or a human's life, and then they rebel against their creators. I mean,
right.
That's Battlestar Galactica, right? I'm showing my dorkness right now.
Yeah, I didn't watch that either. Sorry, Dwight. All right, so what else we want to talk about, Dave? We definitely. I actually thought the documentary was well made. I do think it kind of veered off course because it got so tied into the BS with these people, but you had to follow it, right?
I think the fact that they kept it on the course the way they did was a masterful job. It was just a huge blob of jelly they were trying to nail to the wall. I mean, there was so much that it's just, where do you even start? How do you, in what sequence do you want to expose this I want to say, for lack of a better word, this S show, right? This bleep show. How do I present this turd over this turd, or this?
Right.
It was crazy. So I thought they did a good job sequencing it, putting it together, trying to show you a sequence of events as to how all this unfolded, right? So like, and you didn't see any of this coming. Like, I didn't see a lot of this. I didn't see the kid killing himself.
No, geez.
I felt like he just left. Like, he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get out of here. This is whack. I'm not even really gay."
Do you think he meant to kill himself?
No, I just don't think he was a very smart dude. I think he was up on a meth bender. He forgot he chambered one, and boom, blew his head off.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention that the dude ran for what, governor?
Yeah, president.
Yeah, president. He ran for the presidential campaign manager. Like, we didn't even mention that. Like, we glossed over the fact this dude.
Well, I love how the guy was like, he offered me the chance to be his campaign manager. That was my dream. I was managing the sporting goods counter at Walmart.
Right. Yep. The next thing you know, the feds are on him like, "Look, testify or we're charging you."
Life comes at you fast.
Like Denzel Washington said, "Man, don't be afraid to fail. Fail big."
You gotta give him props for taking a shot. So
I think Joe was manic depressant too, because he would just be so manic and like, I can do everything. I can rule the world, 1 minute to the next minute, just being like utterly depressed and down and ready to kill Carol. I mean, how many things did that dude do? Remember when the girl got her arm bit off? He put on a paramedic jacket. He's got a paramedic bomber on. That dude has no medical training whatsoever, and here he is in a paramedic bomber. It was like chilling, man. Oh my God, that show is crazy. You forget how absurd it is. Like, the theater of the absurd for that, it's just blows my mind.
That's why Rob being like, I didn't pay attention. It's like, it was a well-made documentary. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Man, I'll let Rob do his thing, man. I'm not worried about what Rob's going on, man. I'm trying to safeguard my mental hygiene with jealous vigor in these challenging times, and I don't need no bad, negative vibes around me, man.
The other thing was, I saw Ryan Clark tweet today, "I'm not watching your Tiger show," and then a bunch of other like blue check people be like, "Yeah, me neither." It's like, okay, so why are you tweeting about it then? Just don't watch it.
It's a show of solidarity, man, in these trying times.
Right, but it's like, who cares what you don't watch? Why does everyone have to tell us what they don't watch?
Yeah, let people enjoy things, right?
Right, who cares? Like, I've never seen The Wire. Okay, well, cool,
Yeah, you're a Philistine. Congratulations on being a Philistine. It's like when people say Westworld doesn't make sense. I'm like, that's just because your mind's not complex enough,
I didn't say it didn't make sense.
You lack the cognitive ability to follow the show.
I just said it wasn't good. No, it's like wants to be prestige TV, but it's not. Hey,
that's. Are you a Yelper? That sounds like something a Yelper would say. Let me find out you're a closet Yelper, bro.
All right, so
wants to be prestige TV.
So you and I, we should probably maybe next week talk about Better Call Saul. Are you caught up?
Oh yeah, man. This season's been amazing.
It's really the Dave Lackford autobiography. It's turned into.
No, I'm a lot more scrupulous than old Saul. Saul is pushing the line, man.
Well, you got to be careful given your background, but
my pristine background. Thank you very much.
All right, so I got a few stories to tell. We got time?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, so, I'm always complaining about how dirty CVS bathrooms are.
Well, who has ever used a bathroom? Time out. CVS don't got bathrooms for the public, bro?
Yeah, they do.
Maybe in Oregon or Florida.
No, in here, everywhere. So listen. What?
Time out. Why are you using the CVS bathroom, Woody? I'm worried about you, man.
I use bathrooms in public. I'm staying hydrated all the time. I got to go pee a lot. So I go into I go to a new CVS. Of course, the bathroom's just destroyed, right? and I come out. I was waiting for my prescription. It's ready. And this was right at the beginning of the sickness here. So I'm trying to get out of this place as soon as I can. And I want to go in there and wash my hands. I mean, there's not even any toilet paper in there, right? So I come out. They go, oh, Mr. Womack, would you like to speak with the pharmacist? You have any questions for the pharmacist? I said, yeah, I do. I do have a couple questions, right? The pharmacist comes over and they were like, oh, this is because it was like my allergy medicine or something. They're like, oh, it's just, everything's the same. Nothing's, I said, let me ask you a question. Do you guys have an employee bathroom? And they were like, no, we use those bathrooms. I said, you use those disgusting bathrooms and you come back here and handle pills the whole time? And they just like shrugged at me like, yeah. And that was it.
Bottoms up.
that was the whole interaction. They had no, I was like, can you ask someone to clean it? And they were like, no, that's the store people basically. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, because the pharmacy's independent contractors.
Right. I just
it's not like CVS is out there sending people to pharmacy school.
Okay, so the next thing I have to complain about, there you go. Look at you using the proper cough technique. Have you been cooking at home? What have you been doing? Ordering food?
No, I've been combination of both. I've been grilling some chicken, making some rice and vegetables, and then pasta every now and then. But today we ordered some pizza.
Well, so before this all started, I was trying to clean out the freezer because I got too much stuff.
Well, now you got the time.
Well, right, but then I got panicked because I basically used a lot of stuff in the house. So now I've been stocked up, but also been looking up recipes to, I'd be like I had a pound of ground lamb in my freezer.
Okay.
And I was
good stuff right there, man. That's upper echelon.
Right. So I was like, how can I cook this? So, I Googled like pound of ground lamb recipe, and it came like some potatoes and stuff. It was actually pretty good. But my whole point is, you ever Google a recipe online and you read it and it's got some stupid story. You can't get to the recipe.
Yeah. You got it. All the time. I do that whenever I'm using my crock pot. So what I'll do is I'll just hurry up and scroll down to the bottom when I see one and I'll screenshot it. And then I'll create like a folder for my photos and I'll put recipes there.
Ah, that's a good idea. So just so people don't know, give us an example.
Life hack.
Give me, that's a lack hack we call it. Give me something you want to cook.
Me, anything right now? I want
any recipe. I'm gonna Google it.
Google. I want some shawarma euros.
At home recipe. Okay, so we Google it, right?
Yeah.
Lebanese shawarma recipe. Oh, like chicken thighs. I got a whole package of chicken thighs I gotta cook, Dave.
All right. So what are we doing here?
So you pull it up, right? And we're talking 500 words. We start with homemade chicken shawarma. Yeah, I went there.
How intrepid.
That's how it starts. I wouldn't post a recipe that I don't love. Well, I'm in love with this recipe. Yeah, you just said that. I've cracked the homemade shawarma code, and it's awesome. Seriously awesome.
What kind of person do you think actually sits there and reads that? Like, who reads that? I bet you've got an aunt that loves reading those things. Like,
someone has to, because we're going through
love the recipe intros.
You go through all this stuff, and then it's pictures, it's ads, and then finally down at the bottom, it's the recipe.
I don't mind the pictures because I want to see how it's going to turn out. So I don't mind the pictures.
I should cook this. It looks like they make it in a cast iron skillet, which would be good. But I got a whole thing of chicken thighs. That's I gotta
go get a cast iron skillet, man. I passed the cast iron skillet. Try to say that fast. Passed the cast iron skillet every time I go to the grocery store, and I'm like, man, I need to buy that, and I never do. And I'm a big like pots and pans guy. I own an exorbitant amount of pots and pans for a single man.
If you put, I own a lot of single pots and pans for a single man with I passed the cast iron store. That's like an Eminem song, right?
Royce the 5'9" iron, man. I passed the skillet pan. No, say it again.
You said I'm a man with I'm a pots. What did you say?
I said I'm a man with an exorbitant amount of pots and pans. No, I have an exorbitant amount of pots and pans for a single man. And then I said something about I want to buy every time I go past the cast iron. Every time I go past the cast iron skillet, I want to buy it. There we
go. I think the pots and pans actually have more better Eminem line, but
I wish you could capture that.
Put that out.
Yeah.
Maybe I will have M Deuce put some music to it. The other thing, I think this is the last one I got. So we're on Zoom right now. We're talking on FaceTime for those people listening. Have you noticed how many people posting pictures of like, oh, it's virtual happy hour, and there's like 12 people on the screen?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen a lot of that because honestly, I stopped looking at social media. I can't look at social media right now because I get like angry to the extent that I'm like in my living room cursing at my phone and my kids are coming in looking at me like I'm high. What are you doing? Nothing, man. I got to get off Twitter, man.
Well, so I mean, first of all, I make a lot of jokes about not having any friends. But if you told me I had to get 15 people together at a set time on a video call, or you're gonna burn my house down, I start packing up the box to run.
Call your insurance company.
First of all, I have no desire to FaceTime with anybody ever. I'm doing it. We're doing this now because this. Well, but I got sick and tired of the other thing not working, man.
Like, what, Venmo?
No,
Venmo. Vimeo.
Zencaster.
Zencaster. There we go. Yeah.
Is enough. It's not working. Keep messing up. People say this works better, and we could throw the video up on YouTube. I don't know who would want to watch it. But that's not me. People watch video podcasts, people talking.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't do it.
Yeah, not me.
I wouldn't want to see our ugly mugs anyway.
Yeah, my hair's all messed up. I got a long beard. I got chest hair. What do you think?
Hey, what's up with the collar on your shirt, man? Throw that away, man. That's fun.
That happens from
structural integrity of your collar is decimated. You cannot wear that shirt anymore, man. It's done. That's dead.
You want to know how it happens? You're playing around the house. People are grabbing and tugging on it.
Social distancing, man. I'm in my room. My kids are in their room. They want something. They text me. I tell them to go screw themselves.
So you got how many kids in the house with you? 3?
2. My oldest son, Dave, who's 17, and my youngest son, Jace, who's 16. And like we discussed, I feel like every second they're trying to sneak out, to go, meet up with their little girlfriends or pass little vape pens around with their buddies or whatever and contract the COVID-19 and bring it to my home. So I've been hyper vigilant. I haven't slept much. I'm thinking about ordering some window bars on Amazon. Keep myself safe.
You haven't let them see their girlfriends at all?
No, man. I'm taking it serious, bro.
Oh, good. I like it. Well, my point was, I just can't believe it just really hits home how few friends I have when I see people. Not to mention, does one person talk at a time on those 15 people things?
Like I said, man, if I saw something like that on social media, I would immediately turn that off. They were doing like some virtual party with DJ D Nice and Joe Biden was on it or something. And like I was talking to my daughter and my ex-wife was doing that in the background and I saw her dancing. She's like, we doing club quarantine. And I was like, yeah, that's why we're divorced.
Well, our very own Rob Cassidy actually did a virtual brunch today.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Did he bring some of the things from it? Did he bring some of the sports memorabilia from his house to the brunch?
Well, he did.
Did he bring his Mookie Wilson jersey?
He posted his shoes.
Oh, he got the off-whites.
Zoom brunch. But look at it. Okay, I'm gonna get in real tight here. Look at all these people. Look at these people. 4 or 5 people having brunch.
I have 4 or 5 friends, bro. Look, man, when this is over, come out here to Kentucky, man. I'll hook you up with some Louisvillians. They're real nice people. They'll take you in. They kind of look like you. You definitely got the Kentucky look going on right now.
Let me tell you something. People love this beard.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I dig it. You know,
Yeah, I got people trying to get me to come quarantine with them instead of.
all you need to do is put some Kodiak in that bottom lip right there. You look like you're from Oldham County or something, brother.
Well, that's always one of the best skills ever is these people who can like.
Well, what they do is they put their two fingers together like this, and they just kind of relax this. So when they flick it, it pops on the can. I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't
Because,
do it either.
you know, I don't have I have the proper amount of chromosomes, but you know, some people with an extra chromosome, they can pop that finger on that can, man.
They should be like that. Should be the test, like when you get to the pearly gates. Can you do this?
Yeah, what you do with this, boy? Oh, come on! I know you love some Jesus.
Oh man! All right, so I did.
Wait, is that the test to get in or get barred?
No, get barred. If you can click the thing, you're out.
I feel like you're in. Nah, man. The good old country boys, they love some church.
So I had a tweet of the week, which I thought was funny.
But you can't find it.
Of course. Well, usually you wouldn't be able to see me looking through.
No, there would just be somebody filibustering for you on the podcast while you found it, like I'm doing right now.
So Kelvin Harmon, who I think is in the NFL, right, on the Redskins.
Yeah, NC State represent, former 4-star.
He tweeted, "Twitter be dry snitching. Your favorites pop up on the timeline as if you retweeted it." So, like, if you like a girl's post, your followers see it. And what's funny is Farrell texted me tonight and said, "When I like something, does it show up on people's feeds who follow?"
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, what did he like? Was it like some MILF action? What was it?
I don't know. He didn't say, but I'm just saying, like,
it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you got to be,
Hypervigilant, man.
Yeah, you got to be careful, Mike. So anyway, that's it. We're going to watch The Scheme. And then we'll probably, you know what I wanted to do? You ever watch the Real World Road Rules Challenge?
I'm good, bro.
Come on.
Not watching the Real World Road Rules. That's like a mashup of two stupid reality shows that ruined the world. That ruined reality television, ruined entertainment. No.
Listen, Dave.
No.
Neither one of those shows is on anymore. So this is as close to sports as you're going to get. It's basically sports now.
What?
The challenge.
Is it like on now? Is it a thing, or are we going back in time?
No, the next season.
I can go watch the 2006 Rose Bowl.
No, the next season starts like on Wednesday. So I think we should.
Like regular television?
Yeah, on MTV.
Do you have a CD collection still too? Do you have a 6-disc changer in your car?
I'm looking around in here. I thought I might have some CDs.
I thought your wife came in here.
No, I was looking to see if I had any CDs.
What, do you have like a scar in your head right there when you turn to the other side? Yeah. Is that just your hair woofing?
No, I got a scar. I do have a scar in the middle of my forehead. You can't see it. The influencer light washes it off.
Is that from the when you were in your hostage situation?
No, I was.
Actually, it was. I know the story behind this. You're gonna tell a story. Tell that one.
Well, that was one of the things I was ranting and raving.
That's a Joe Exotic story for you right there.
Well, I'm like, the feds are sitting here tracking down Joe Exotic. Meanwhile, I got some dudes burst into my house, tried to kill me, left me tied up.
That's not a federal crime. It's a state crime.
I know, but no, I got the scar. Listen, I got the scar here riding a 3-wheeler with my cousin when I was 3 years old.
Yep. Makes sense. Were you on the front handlebars like this?
No, I used to ride in front of them and hold on. Those 3-wheelers, you could lose control of them real quick. And I flew off and landed head first on the gravel. Split my head open. So
did you break all the moonshine you were transporting? Question.
No, that was my cousin John. He was more of a weed guy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was more of a weed guy in Oregon. But anyway, all right. So that wraps it up. Maybe we'll get Dave. I might be able to get Dave Barry to do us a little. Are you looking at me? Are we side by side on your screen?
No, I'm over top of you like Skype.
Okay, so we'll see what it looks like. I think it's going to come out top and bottom. Maybe we'll get Dave to throw a little graphic on there and put it on YouTube. And
I mean, I'm obviously I'm the better looking guy at it too. So I feel like, mine should be the big boy.
right now, because you groomed yourself prior.
I still have like, I mean, I don't go out, but stuff comes in.
Let me tell you something. In the apocalypse, this is what's better.
No, that's never better. Hate to break it to you.
Just wait till the comments come in. It's gonna be like, man, Woody with the beard.
I mean, I don't know. It's not that the beard is fine. It's everything else. That's the problem.
I put on my Rivals camp hat.
Is that a snapback?
Hey, now I look like a real.
Turn it backwards and put your hair through the front like Cassidy. Get the Cassidy going on.
This is how big my head is. I think I gotta open it all the way up.
Yeah. You look like Rob a little bit right here now, man. You and Cassidy are brothers.
I like when my hair comes out of
For those who don't know, that's an actual Rob Cassidy quote right there. I like when my hair comes out through the snapback.
All right. Actually, I promised this hat to Jake reuse. So
reuse?
Yeah. You know what? You have one of these blue hats?
Let me see. Is it navy blue?
Nah, look at that. You see it up there?
What is that? A Glock? Oh, the R.
It's like that's a legit.
I like that. Yeah. All right. Yeah, send that to me. You got my address. I'll rock that all day.
Look at that thing.
210 fitted. If that hat's on the table for a kid, that kid ain't picking that school. That's an off-brand, John. Oh no, it's all right.
No, it's legit. Because Nick Kruger used to wear his like this.
That is not a Nick Kruger style either.
No, he used to wear it off this side. Here we go.
You kind of resemble Rob a little bit. I see the Italian in you when you got the beard and the hat on now. Now I see it.
Yeah, you see the eyes and
I see the Italian in you. Yeah, man. It's a good look for you. Hey, Fongulamon.
We'll have to cut this out of the audio version because
nobody knows what that meant. Shut up.
All right, that wraps it up. It's great to be back, isn't it? How many people do you think still subscribe to the podcast?
Man, I hope when we put it back out there, our base, our core of about 7 people will be excited about this, man.
Yeah, we'll see. Rob's got a nice little fan base from his fraternity bros, but
all right. Well, he's not on this, so they're not going to listen to us.
Right. Well, they'll enjoy us making fun of him if they do listen. So,
no doubt.
Anyway, all right, Dave. Let's try to do like Thursday or Friday where we talk about the scheme.
Okay, the 31st is going to be Tuesday, right?
Yes, I guess we'll try to get Bossy to come on.
All right.
I don't know if he will because he doesn't like talking about that stuff.
I'm not going to be doing anything. They canceled court here until like June 1st. They ain't even opening the courts here until June 1st. So I'll be sitting in my house, Hopefully society will still exist on March 31st.
Well, maybe we'll do some special video only, like Ask Lack video series.
Okay, I like it.
If you got questions for Dave and his crazy background, hit us up. We'll put them in. And
if you have any legal questions, I can answer them for a nominal Cash App donation.
You know what? Somebody hit us up about some like copyright information, trademark thing the other day. And I was like, let's just have Lackford talk to him. And they were like, no, we got to talk to legal. I was like, I got my legal team. It's a one-man army.
I booked trademarks. Copyright, I got like a B, but I was the man in trademarks. So,
hey, you're talking to the guy who broke the story when UCF filed the stuff to change their name from Golden Knights to Knights, and I went and pulled the new logo off of the trademark website.
Mm-hmm.
And the athletic department, and I put it in the front page of the school paper, and the athletic department was pissed because they hadn't announced it.
Did they register it?
Yeah, they registered it. No, but they were going to do like
you went and found it on the registry. Is what you're telling me. Yeah. Hey, public record, baby.
That floor, especially. Yeah, that was real reporting.
Yeah, it might have been a Pyrrhic victory for you. I'm sure they didn't give you any more access to the squad.
Nah, they weren't happy.
All right, man. I'm getting off here, man.
Okay. All right, Dave. We'll talk to you later. Everybody, thanks for listening. We'll be back with another episode next week.